Welcome into Dragon Ball Super Dope. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking this out. So, it's that time of the month. What did I just say? We're going to be reviewing the monthly manga for Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super manga chapter 75 this month. God of Destruction Power. So, like, not God of Destruction's power. There's no kind of ownership or like some contractions in that shit. It's just God of Destruction Power. I am joined this month, as I am usually joined by somebody from our Patreon audience. This month it's Reese. Reese is up in the rotation. Reese, how are you, brother?
Good, bro. How are you?
I'm great. How's Australia, mate?
Hot.
Oh, okay. Isn't it like wintertime there?
Yeah, it's getting hot though.
The world is
Global
melting.
warming.
Yeah, man, the world is melting. Global warming. Next up after Reese, this is his Dragon Ball Super Dope debut. But he has technically been on this feed once before. I like took a segment that I did on his show a few weeks back and repurposed it for an episode, probably about a month ago. My friend Rayshawn Gadsden from the R Gap podcast. Rayshawn, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. What's up, everybody?
Super dope. Welcome in, man. Happy to have you on for a manga chapter review.
I can't wait.
And then, as always, for this manga chapter review each month, I am joined by my friend. You probably know him as Leonard, but I regret to inform you that Leonard is actually no more. And we now have, instead, in his wake, GB. GB, how are you, man?
I'm alive.
Yeah, no, you're alive. You're Leonard and you're alive, but we're calling you GB now. And it's mostly like I don't know. I guess if we had to boil it down to a very concise thing, I'd probably say it's a branding decision.
Yes, it is. It's a branding decision. I'm the brand and I made the decision.
And you
Although
know
that
what?
does sound weird coming from a guy who looks like he is white saying branding decision.
I'm dude. All right. See, I knew it'd only take about 30 fucking seconds for a 3/5 joke to fucking come into this. Leonard, back the fuck up. GB, GD, GB. Oh, maybe that's how I'm gonna fucking implement your name into some sort of consistency. As I say something to the effect of GD, GB. Is that how you want to be known? Is that going to help the branding? I'm just helping you in your fucking efforts, man. I'm not trying to brand for you. Fuck out of here.
Okay.
Are we in a fight? Is this our first fight?
That's
Yes.
hilarious. Did anybody see Reese's camera? Look like a fucking
Yeah, Reese
monster.
turned on and then he's just like, oh, wait, they're going to fight. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to record
That's
this.
why I was,
Right. Reese is like, actually, I'm going to turn my camera off and get the screen record going and watch Kyle and GB fucking fight it out through webcam. It's going to be wild.
Oh, look at that. You said GB.
I know. I'm
It probably
working
took all the
on
focus
it.
in the world.
I will literally kick you in the goddamn teeth.
Like in the like
GB.
editor, if you can edit it, if you could please just like freeze frame it or like slow down his like his video and just have the Ultra Instinct going off, like the the music and everything. The ba, 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 ba.
Here's the thing, Leonard. I'm probably not using the video for YouTube this month because one of us still doesn't have a goddamn webcam, even though they broadcast on Twitch fucking 3 nights a week.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm gonna have to cut so much of this intro. It's gonna be
Yeah, I wonder who it is.
y'all ready?
y'all ready
Y'all
for
ready
this?
for this?
And that's why we're friends, because we have those same points of reference. Okay, so chapter 75, God of Destruction Power. I say it every single month. It's basically like a staple in my talking points for these manga chapters. They give us enough in those teasers to be like, oh shit, this is going to be the bulk of what happens in the story this month. But they leave out a couple of things that, when we read the chapter, we say, oh shit, I wonder how this is going to play out. This gives me some sort of incentive to come back next month to see how this, point within the arc resolves itself. So the leaks this month, we knew Vegeta was going to name his new form. We knew he was going to be handing out ass whoopings. As I told you last month, I'm sorry, everybody, that I ruined what this chapter was going to be in our manga review for chapter 74 last month. Vegeta handing out ass whoopings, naming his new form. it's a very action heavy chapter, but there are a couple of notable things that happen within it that I want to get your feedback on, ask you some questions on. Um, but I did the math out before we jumped on the Zoom call tonight. It's basically the first 27 pages of a 45-page manga that Vegeta's just throwing hands and making Granola feel terrible about himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get a lot in those first 27 pages. Vegeta also is still kind of playing a good guy, and that he's like kind of talking to Granola. And I don't want to say in like a mentor sort of style, but like almost in a way where he's like trying to mend a bridge and like goes out of his way to let him know that Frieza's an enemy. Frieza destroyed Planet Vegeta. He destroyed the Saiyans. Him and Granola have more in common than they realize. Things like that. But he's also like still drop kicking Granola in the face and grabbing him by the head and like twirling him around and throwing him through some buildings and stuff. It was a really good or fun chapter, action heavy as it was. Not too much happened, but I guess I'll start with the first question I want to ask you guys is Ultra Ego. Okay, this God of Destruction form has been given a name in this chapter, and it is Ultra Ego, which I will say, somebody who I don't particularly care for in terms of the content in Dragon Ball, the content community in Dragon Ball, they put out like a rush translation that said that this form might be called Mega Instinct. And I was like, yo, if this thing is called Mega Instinct, I think I genuinely have to quit watching Dragon Ball because that'd be fucking so stupid. I'd feel worse about myself than I already do. I don't need more of that piled on top. So when it was called Ultra Ego, I was like, funny as hell, and it makes sense. And it's not Mega Instinct. I'm into it. Rayshawn, we'll start with you, man. What did you think of the word or the transformation name Ultra Ego? And did you like it? Yes, no, and why?
I don't like the name. I'm just gonna be honest with it. I think the name's stupid. I think I feel like they just whatever the first thought is, that's what we're going with. Like I just don't see the creativity in it. But this kind of goes back to an episode where I was talking about there might be a Ultra Instinct form for the gods of destruction and the angels. So it's kind of playing into that. So I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest things with this form, and like, I mean, I'm a biased. Like, I'm just genuinely relieved it's not Mega Instinct. That'd be so fucking stupid. But the explanation of like Vegeta's just taking all these hits from Granola, like taking all these blasts to the face. Granola's like, does your technique not work like your friend's does, where he dodges everything that I do? You're just taking all this shit to the dome. Like, what's your deal, man? And Vegeta says something to the effect of,
Like my fighting spirit.
Yeah, he's like his body. Goku's body moves on its own. It has an instinct of its own or whatever. I'm all ego, and I thought about that for a second, and I'm like, all ego. He is, yes, all ego, but and that's like the obvious one. People were like, he finally admits it. He's got such a bad ego problem. Ha ha ha. But it's the way in which he says it. It's like he's acknowledging that Goku's instinct is what's basically driven him, his entire character, since the beginning of OG Dragon Ball. Like he just has a natural instinct for martial arts and fighting and like overcoming these gaps and obstacles and learning new power-ups very, very quickly all the time. So to kind of have that sort of tie to Ultra Instinct through Vegeta describing it like that, I was like, fuck yeah. Mega Ego, Ultra Ego. Thank God it's not Mega Instinct. Ultra Ego is cool as hell. GB, what'd you think of this of the name of this transformation? Did you like it? Yes, no, and why?
I thought it was hilarious because that's just Vegeta's MO. He's just like, oh, well, Kakarot had this, so I'm gonna have this. He's just like, fuck you, Kakarot. He's like, you can suck it.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
Vegeta, what I love about Vegeta so much is just the fact that he never, like, Goku and Vegeta are like two different sides of the coin, obviously. And when it comes down to it, Goku is like that person that's just very happy, giddy up, everything like that. But when he gets mad, he can get gritty real quick and make you pay. compared to Vegeta, Vegeta's like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking do what I want. I'm just gonna have a good time. I'm gonna blow everything off and say fuck you.
I
See,
mean,
it's
yeah.
like Goku has to get like aggressive, intense. Vegeta shows up like that. Like
he got that energy.
like, so this is like,
That's just his natural default mode, man. It's like just ready to take damage. Reese, what do you think, man? Do you like the name? Yes, no, and why?
Okay. I like the ego part. I don't like the ultra part. Like, um, I just think it's just not really original. And I think they could have come up with like something so much better. Like, I even went and Googled fucking
Like Mega?
what's it called? Nah, no, 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 no. So I went and Googled cinnamons and shit, and like they could have called it like Vegeta's desecrator mode form, or his Ravager form, or something like that, or his Gladiator form, or something like just something that's like that means that he's going to still be a bad motherfucker, but he's also a warrior.
If
To
they named
destroy
that
both
shit
parts.
Gladiator form, I would have been more like off the rails with my love for Dragon Ball than I would be with Mega Instinct.
I
Yeah,
But
kind of
I'm
like
just not.
Gladiator. If it depends, if they would have tried to add in the Ultra Instinct to the name, the Ultra
I mean,
Instinct
I
Gladiator.
like the dichotomy of Goku's instinct versus Vegeta's ego being the two things that drive them in combat.
Well, Vegeta's always been about pride, so what would you call
Yeah.
it? Ultra pride?
Pride, ego are basically synonyms in my
Oh,
book.
that would yeah. They both could. I can see that.
Arrogance.
Yeah, that fucking file that one under the same general umbrella. But Vegeta throwing the Ultra in front of it, it's like, yeah, I just say no Ultra Instinct, bitch. This is Ultra Ego. Like, it's a
I
funny
don't know. I
joke. It's
thought,
also fitting, I think.
yeah, I still would have preferred something like, like his Ravager mode, or his just something to do with like a bit more destruction. You know what I mean?
I would have preferred X Games mode. Vegeta just all of a sudden powers up. I'm on X Games mode.
Watch this, bitch. I'm about to fucking rip this half pipe up. So,
But
You know
like
what I actually
before,
want to see? I want to see like an original Super Saiyan form. Like, I don't know. Like something
yeah,
like
like a primal form.
I think that would be cool.
with like some red fur and a tail and shit like that.
Like
And
kind of like
yellow
how
pants.
Super Saiyan 4 looks, but that'd be
Yeah.
like they last form or some shit.
So I had somebody suggest to me on a Facebook post, like, after the manga chapters come out, go follow us on Facebook. It's at Super Dope Pods, I believe. I posted up some of these shots, like the Ultra Ego explanation, and Vegeta's like explaining to Granola. He's like, the God of Destruction showed me how to access this power. And Granola's like, oh my God, the God of Destruction gave you this power? Vegeta goes, did I say that? No. And then he just goes on to explain the rest of it. And just that little, did I say that? No. For whatever reason, that just made me piss my pants laughing all week. So that was my Facebook post this week. Somebody suggested as a comment on that post, like, if this is supposed to be like a sort of parallel with Goku's Ultra Instinct, would it make sense or would it surprise you if what we see right now for Vegeta's Ultra Ego form is actually more in line with like an Ultra Instinct omen or an Ultra Instinct sign, depending on how you preferred the translations? Like the one where Goku is doing it in like
I
just
would
the
say so
dodge
because then he
form or
said that was his
whatever.
first time doing it.
Yeah.
So I would say so. It
Yeah.
was just like he just unlocked it.
So you think that we could see like a more perfected version of this somewhere down the line?
I think so.
Reese?
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is that, like, look at the difference between his form and like Toppo's. Like Toppo is obviously transformed a few times. You know what I
Yep.
mean? That's how he had his look and all that.
Good
Yeah.
point.
And Vegeta's probably just literally it's his first time, so he's lost his eyebrows. They went bye-byes, and yeah, he's getting a massive erection over just being able to fucking destroy shit and not give a fuck. And when was the last time Vegeta got to do this? When he was back in his margin form.
And even then, you could make the argument that he was just kind of going through the motions and just wanted like a fucking permission slip to be an asshole.
Yeah, and I think that it could. I hope that he doesn't fucking get that fucking symbol on his chest and shit like that. But I think that there's more to the form. Fuck yeah.
I hope so. I now that you said the Hakai Shin Tapo thing, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. That dude not only had like that barrier of destruction energy around him, like we were talking about before we hit record, Rayshawn, but he also managed to keep his mustache.
Yeah.
Then he had all the God of Destruction like signs on him.
Yeah, they like put a marking on him.
I want Mastered Ultra fucking Ego form next. And he's going to have fucking purple grey hair or something like that.
Purple silver hair.
Yeah.
That'd be
Same,
kind of
same.
lit. You know, we saw if that massive Ultra Instinct is his actual, like the actual form name.
Mastered Ultra Instinct?
What did you say? Massive?
Massive?
Would you say like the Ultra Instinct is more like the defensive sort of technique, and then Ultra Ego would be like the assault technique?
Yeah, Ultra Instinct,
I
what
can see
Goku
that.
does is like what Whis does in a fight. And then
Yeah.
Beerus like just takes punches to the face and he's like, y'all are weak.
But you know what was weird though? Because Beerus did Ultra Instinct. So I always thought it was kind of like, I don't know, like I didn't understand like is what Ultra Instinct Beerus was doing when he did it in the Tournament of Power in the manga.
Oh, when he fights the other 9 gods of destruction.
Yeah. So I wasn't know if that was the defensive version or if he was using the same version Vegeta
As
was
Goku.
using. Because they didn't really
Oh yeah.
show the different colors. Because you know, like
point.
I think Goku's is more like white and blue, and his is like more purple and black.
That's a good point. GB, what do you think? Do you think we could see a mastered version of this form, or is this it for this? Because it is Vegeta after all.
But
It's
you
not
also
like
know what this
Goku.
proves, though? That Beerus is still strong.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, did you get into the is Beerus stronger than Goku memes a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. But
Yeah.
I mean, if he got this Ultra Ego, yeah, I mean, Beerus still got a few more rounds in him. You know what I mean?
For sure.
He'd just be ultra hungry, wouldn't he? That would be
Ultra-
Beerus's form.
Just wants
Ultra
ultra
hungry?
ultra pudding. Yeah.
Ultra ramen.
GB, what do you think, dude? Is this the final form for
Ultra
Vegeta,
Cosmic.
or is we gonna get like some kind of perfected version of it?
I think they're gonna the way that Dragon Ball is going, and especially with the fact that Akira Toriyama has been trying to be like, nah, I'm coming back.
Right.
I think we're not gonna see that happen. I think what we're gonna see is I think maybe what may happen is that Vegeta is just going to more perfect it. And it's not going to be like, oh, this is perfected. I mean, of course, Vegeta would say that, but it's just going to probably look the same. It's just probably have like an aura instead around it, you know, where it's like you're going to see a menacing sort of aura, like as if he's a part of a JoJo's thing or whatever.
Right. All right. So I think for Vegeta, we kind of by the end of this chapter, like we kind of know, at least we all have a hunch on where he stands. They do have a very odd little breakup at this chapter. In the middle of it, around page 33, it cuts back over to Goku, and he is
Trying to heal himself.
he's just healing like a big gash in his body with like his own ki, like his own blast power. So I don't think we have any real precedent with this in the canon. I think it's the first Cooler movie when he like first becomes a Super Saiyan officially in a movie canon timeline. He like fucking heals a bird back to life or some shit.
Did he do that against Beerus? He healed himself when he stabbed him in his chest or something? And he fell in the water.
I don't know, did he?
Yeah. I thought so because I remember they thought that was an ability he got in the red form. I remember like Beerus like stabbed him with his hand or something, and he fell down through in the water, and then he was talking about how much he loved the fight or some shit. Like he went on a long little speech, and then he was like healed. But I can't tell if that was the movie version of it or the TV show version.
Yeah, exactly. They all run together in my brain and kind of cancel each other out, for being honest. But the idea of somebody using ki to heal somebody else isn't an unprecedented thing. But to use it to do it to yourself is definitely a new idea, at least for Goku. And like, I don't know, I'm glad he's like washing his face in a fucking stream nearby or whatever and trying to like stitch himself up with his ki blasts, I guess. But I don't know. You guys have any feelings on this? Was this off-putting to anyone else like it was to me, Reese?
Yeah, because I thought Goku wasn't Dende. Can't fucking heal himself.
Right? Like, why do we need sensu beans at all? Right?
Yeah, well, I've got a little fucking theory about those too, but I'll tell you this first. I think that power's always been with Dende, and like the only time that they've used Ki Blast is to like start someone's heart up again or something like that, kind of like a defibrillator.
Yep.
So I don't like the fact that they're getting Goku to do that now. Like lasers are his weakness. That's his fucking kryptonite. Like you can't just fucking
Lasers
have
when he's
his
not paying attention,
which is all the time.
which is all the time.
Yeah, but sensu beans. Now, the one character that always still comes up in DB is the farmer with the shotgun. Do you think he's actually farming sensu beans for Corin?
No, I think he's fucking like farming
You
corn.
reckon?
You talking about the dude who ran into Raditz?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yes,
Yeah.
that's Kyle.
my Discord Abby.
He keeps showing back up in it like every DB series, man. He's got to be fucking farming those sensu
With the
beans.
same Toyota truck. Just for
Yeah,
the
man.
record.
You be
That
sorry
shit
if
don't
he's
die.
like the Super Saiyan God type shit.
Hey, I talked about it. I talked about him in that Geekdom episode the other day. Like, Geekdom's mean tweet was about like farmer with the shotgun could have been suppressing his power, so maybe he could fight Jiren if he was going all out in regards to like Beerus versus Goku shit. Him just like trying to troll people, but like in a very weird, not successful way.
But you gotta think about know how Goku be losing his guards and shit. That'd
Yeah,
be
he
funny
never-
if he came out of nowhere and just shot his ass.
But like we saw Goku get shot with a gun in the very first episode of OG Dragon Ball. Like it would be inconvenient if he caught a couple of fucking shotgun shells to his chest, but he definitely wouldn't be any worse for wear. This healing thing, GB, did this bother you or did it just bother me?
Honestly, I was like, when I was looking at it, I thought about, how characters always get hurt a specific way. For example, Vegeta, I think it's like Vegeta's left arm or right arm.
Yes.
It's Vegeta's left arm.
Android 18 broke that bitch with a kick one day.
Exactly. Ever since then, it's never been the same.
Hell yeah.
And then if you look at Goku's always patching up his chest because he's just like, dang, my right titty hurt. I don't feel so well. Like first it was his heart and now it's everything else.
Good point.
Personally, the whole key healing thing, I'm not too surprised by it because I mean, if anything, like Goku literally is taught by an angel. Like he's probably learned at least something, so maybe that might be a reason. At least to try to fight for that argument. But to be honest, it was a little out of left field because it's just like, why don't you just have a sensu bean?
Well, yeah. I mean, if anything, it's just more confirmation to me that he's getting ready to come back into the spotlight, whether that's by himself or with Vegeta or whatever.
Dynamics can heal themselves, can't they?
Some
When
of
the
them
mech
can.
is,
Yeah.
Okay,
Namai-
so it's not
and they-
unprecedented.
And they did show Namaito at some point in this chapter, but Namaito is not really he's not really on our side. He's, I guess, on Granola's team, but he's also like real. Granola goes like full fucking heel in this chapter, man. Like,
I like Granola in this chapter because to me, it's like he took everything Vegeta was saying in the last chapter and was actually doing it in this chapter.
He had a Batman moment in this chapter.
a Batman moment? What do you mean?
Yeah. The quote from Batman Dark Knight, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And that's what he's
Oh,
starting
was
to
that in
step
here?
into.
You didn't exactly say that.
No, that quote from Batman, that's exactly
Reminded
what's
you
happening
of this
to
chapter.
Granola. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, because I was about to be like, that's lit as fuck.
Is he starting to step into that villain role now?
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, like Vegeta's trying to talk some sense into him, and Granola's just totally not interested in fucking hearing it.
Oatmeal as
I
well.
got a question. To say he's going into the villain role, wouldn't he have to like kill people? Because I still feel like he's going on for revenge.
So here's the thing, dude. He hasn't had the opportunity because the Shigarians have now evacuated the city in which they're fighting near. But in this chapter, as opposed to last chapter, he was real concerned about protecting all of the buildings in the city. As we're in this chapter with Vegeta, he like starts like swinging around. He picks up like a whole citadel looking building and drops it on Vegeta. He's like spinning around with his ribbon and shit. And Vegeta's like, oh, okay, now all of a sudden it's cool
don't
for
care
you
about
to
But
destroy
I
the
mean,
city.
Vegeta was kicking them all through the buildings. How many? At some point, you gotta be
Vegeta
like,
don't give a fuck about those buildings, but like
But
Granola,
I'm
come
just
on,
saying,
preserve your
at
shit.
some point, you're gonna be like, well, there's no point in saving it. It's already gone.
Right.
Type shit.
We do have a set of 2 Dragon Balls on this planet. I will fucking collect all 2 of them and make a wish to restore the city as it was.
I'm surprised it didn't piss Vegeta off even more when Granola called him just a sane grunt. And like for Vegeta not to, the one time for him to step up in this arc and be like, I'm Prince Vegeta, like that was the moment.
You know what, man? You're right. And I thought the same thing upon reading it, but I also thought about it a little bit more. And I'm just like, it's consistent with how Vegeta is treating Granola to this point in the battle. He doesn't like feel the need. He doesn't feel insecure. He doesn't feel like, even though Granola is the quote unquote strongest in the universe, and Vegeta's in his fucking quote unquote happy place, being able to fight unabated without having to protect anybody or a planet. He does have this thing where I feel like he's sort of. I totally lost my train of thought.
I've been thinking he's been leaving the prince role and becoming more of like a king.
Well, I feel like this moment is even beyond that of a prince, just because he's literally showing off a form or a new technique or whatever you want to call this ultra ego thing. Form technique, same kind of argument that we've had with Ultra Instinct, right? He's showing off a form or a new technique that he learned from a motherfucking god. He's like, yeah, I'm a grunt. LOL. That's real funny, kid. Your insults do not faze me because I know exactly where I was before you showed up. And I know that you took a big old shortcut to get there. And now you're paying the price for it with your inexperienced battle self. Like I said, a lot of things happen in these first 27 pages. One of the things we sort of glossed over is while he's going, Granola is turning like full heal mode. He also throws off his AI, Oatmeal. He throws off his side piece, his AI assist shit. And Granola does very much seem to have like a personality of their own. I think is the best way for me to say it. But I think we're all, in last month, we'd gone so far to say it's like confirmed. It's like Tony Jarvis. It's like Tony Stark's Jarvis. Like AI assistant kind of shit for Oatmeal. Like that, we were all in agreement. And I think we still all are in agreement this month that it's still an AI. Anybody's feelings change on that? Do we think it's a person?
No, I think it's AI.
No, I still think it's AI.
Okay. The reason I ask too, like not only is this scene where he rips it off and throws it away, but that Toyotaro interview that I did a solo episode on last week, whatever it was, who cares? He does mention like there's more to Oatmeal than meets the eye. They're not just there to like provide exposition on the story. I do wonder if Oatmeal is going to be, and Oatmeal meaning like the piece that Granola would have on his eye. I do wonder if that is going to fall into the hands of the Heaters at a certain point in this arc, because it seems like their spaceship kind of crash landed pretty close to it. I could be wrong, but we do know that the Heaters are now officially on the planet, Oil, Gas, Maki, and Alec. And we know that their Dragon Radar works. They're on their way to gather the first of 2 Dragon Balls, and it seems like they're active. I genuinely have no idea what they could be going to wish for, but they do make it quite well known. Like, our plan's working out swell. These 3 motherfuckers are going to kill each other, and it's going to be great because it'll be way less work for us later on. But they're still about to collect the Dragon Balls, summon the dragon, and make a wish. Anybody have any ideas on what that wish could be?
I think it's going to have to do something with Frieza. And why I think that is because their whole end goal is to take over his whole dominion, whatever, everything he got taken up. So I think either I had this idea that they might actually wish Frieza there to actually get them all to fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I was Alec, I wouldn't want Frieza to show up because I know that Frieza is such a big threat. I wouldn't want to wish him there.
Be a threat to those 3, and basically look like he's using those as puppets.
He could be. I mean, yeah, he's definitely played Granola, Vegeta, and he's played Granola successfully against Goku and Vegeta. But if Frieza shows up, I don't know, man. Goku
You think
and
he'll stop
Vegeta,
fighting Vegeta and go straight for Frieza?
he might.
Yeah.
He probably would. Reese, what do you think, man? You have any theories on wishes that the heaters could be making with these Dragon Balls?
Yeah, I think Alec will either like wish for all his enemies to be dead or to like be emperor of the universe, or even instead of having the big power up like Granola had, who has to sacrifice so much, and Alec now knows about that Granola had to sacrifice, he could just be like, I wish to steal the powers of Frieza, Granola, whoever else, and then he can just be super fucking strong, strongest in the universe without having to have any sacrifices.
But I mean, here's the thing about those Dragon Balls, though. It's like we know that there's a negative repercussion against Granola's wish, and that they had to combine his remaining 150 years into 3 to be able to access all this power. And our long running theory over the last several chapters on these discussions has been that he's going to get pushed to a level where he burns through those 3 years at an accelerated pace.
But this is a transfer. It's not. It's not like wishing for it all. You know, it's just a transfer. Whereas the dragon had to do
Well,
like
my
so
point
much more
is,
effort.
even if that's what the wish is, he like wants to transfer the power or like the resources that Frieza has in his intergalactic space army and shit. It seems like there's like a monkey paw effect to these Dragon Balls, and that like whatever wish you make, there's going to be some kind of negative repercussion to it. So
I think it depends. Like, you know how Kami was like his Dragon Balls can't do anything over his power. I
Yeah.
think those Dragon Balls can, and that comes over, and that's when that whole a consequence come. But I think if you make like a general wish, I don't know if it's gonna have a consequence. That'd be fucked up though. I mean, it give it a I don't know.
my 2 big theories that have been yet to be confirmed in this arc are like, one, the Dragon Balls have that monkey paw kind of drawback to them. Whatever wish you make, there's going to be a negative effect to that wish. And then the other one is that Granola is the quote unquote strongest in the universe, but like as 2 dudes like Goku and Vegeta continue to progress their power over the course of a battle, like we've seen them do for years and years, that by proxy continues to push Granola's power up. Whether or not he can handle it is like, yet to be foreseen or whatever, but kind of lines up with some feats that dude has had or accomplished during this arc where he just doesn't really know how he's done it, can't explain it, but he's like, yeah, this is pretty wild. I can be faster than instantaneous movement by Goku. So cool. GB, you got any guesses on what their wish could be with this set of 2 Dragon Balls?
Personally, I don't know. I think this is the one part that like I think everyone can agree on, that no one really knows exactly what they're gonna wish for. Especially me, like I'm very confused on like what they would even think about wishing for. Unless maybe the one thing is that maybe they know that Granola made this wish, and because of that, maybe they're thinking, okay, well now we can get rid of Granola and then try to see if they can do something like that, or do Polo Zamasu.
What do you mean by Polo Zamasu?
When I say that, I mean like one of them can be like, hey, let me take over Granola's body.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Yo, that's not a bad
That's
guess, dude.
good.
What if
I like it.
his wish is like either oil? Is it oil, the little one with the brows, or Alec is the
Gas.
leader? Gas is the
Gas.
one with the brows, right? What if their wish is to like swap Gas into Granola's body or something? Because Gas is like the better fighter than Alec. Like,
Or what if he like combined with OG 7-3?
hey, OG 73 still in play
That's
as
what I was
well.
saying, man.
Yeah.
But like the other thing, like that no one said about is like they must be able to pick up how powerful Granola and Goku and Vegeta are, right? Like surely they can sense, power levels or some shit like that.
So I don't know that they can, but there's a couple of scenes in this chapter where like their
Yeah.
explosions, like Vegeta's big ass Hakai ball versus the fucking double finger guns from Granola. Like it makes a huge explosion throughout the entire planet and it
I got a
blows
question
everything
about
buff.
They're not,
Like,
but like Gas isn't, and Alec are both not even that worried. They're not like, how fucking powerful is this little bastard? Like,
yeah, he's the real power in that
he's
group.
not phased at all.
True.
Like, because even Alec's just like, oh, he's just going to tire himself out. But knowing that he's still the strongest in the universe, like there's some sort of secret still behind Gas because that little fucker's not even getting phased at all. He's still just being a mute and not saying anything. And Alec's still like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good. We still got this.
Maybe Gas was almost a god of destruction or something like that.
That could be some bullshit they throw out of nowhere. But I think they're probably going to power Gas up most likely to fight Granola, because I've always felt like him not letting Gas fight Granola in that one thing was to basically not let us know who was stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just to let us know like this is gonna happen some point down the road, probably. So wait for it.
Because he looked like he was ready to go with Granola then. So I mean, he probably way stronger than we expect. Or maybe he's just like, one of those good, like, he can make you think he's stronger, but he really not.
I mean, the thing is too, like
Good
back then, this was before the fight with Goku and Vegeta. Obviously, his power hadn't been pushed to a point because he wasn't fighting with like experienced martial artists or whatever. Like in this chapter, they sort of allude to I think it's while Goku is doing his healing himself thing. He says something like, "Oh man, is Granola learning how to fight on the fly like right now in the midst of this battle? That's nuts!" Like very similar kind of rationale to what happened with Broly. Exactly. I personally hate that. Like, he's not a Saiyan. Like, if you want to give the out for like Saiyans are creatures of battle, like they're born to fucking fight, live and die for that shit, whatever. Okay, fine. But like, oh, that's how the Cerulean's DNA is built now too, for the sake of this battle. I'm all set. Make it a fucking consequence of this Dragon Ball wish that he's made. Like, the reason he keeps getting stronger is because the Saiyans keep getting stronger, and that's the consequence of his wish.
It's like he gets stronger through battle as well. Remember, he was saying that when he was fighting Goku in the first time they fought against each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yeah, the more you yell and scream and get stronger, so do I.
The one thing I was thinking, like, when he made the wish, Goku and them, they had already reached like God forms and stuff. So I was thinking that he would have to have something similar to that.
So they do explicitly say, like, this wish is not going to put you on par with gods of destruction and angels or things like that. But think about that. Goku and Vegeta are not gods of destruction. They're not angels, but they have access to the forms that those beings have, apparently, for this new training. So if he really is the strongest mortal in the universe over Goku and Vegeta,
I would think he would be comparable.
I think so too. And I think eventually his body's just going to like either run out of time because he just has his power at such an elevated level the entire time, or like he just fucking, I don't know, like Marty McFly is out of the timeline and just disappears because he's just too powerful.
You know what the Heaters could wish for? They could wish for the 3 years to be over.
True.
They could. Dude, imagine if that's how they get us to Dragon Ball Superhero.
Yeah, that was lit.
Holy shit, Rayshawn. I love that theory.
Choo-choo.
Imagine that. They were
I'm just thinking like he ended up beating Goku and Vegeta and he's like running towards them and they like, oh, fuck.
Bro, the Dragon Balls have never been used for the sake of time travel, huh? That's a pretty interesting idea.
You know what else I could wish for?
Joe Mama?
Panties.
Oh, yeah. Panties. Yeah. Good call. Yeah, the next one of the next movies coming out. I think the next one coming out is The Dead Zone.
That's the first canon wish, ain't it?
Yeah, panties. But in the beginning of the second Dragon Ball Z movie, The World's Strongest, or looking for the world's strongest guy, or whatever the fuck, it's Gohan and Oolong in the opening scene going out to try to for Oolong to try to make the same exact wish to Shenron, which you guys should know wouldn't work. Can't make the same wish twice to Shenron.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I'm curious to see how this Dragon Ball, wish resolves itself with the Heaters, because I do think that they will make themselves known once they want to be known. Like they're gonna continue to let Goku, Vegeta, and Granola kick the fuck out of each other until they're ready to make their move, make their wish, whatever. So we shall see. So that brings us to what has been a recurring segment on this show over the last couple of months called
Hey, where the fuck Freeze at? Boy, shut your mouth when I tell you about making all that daggone noise. What the hell is wrong with you?
Now, based on how this is currently going, right? I've actually seen it discussed a little bit in memes from like some popular meme pages things that
Okay.
I've been talking about on this show the last couple months. The idea of what we're seeing currently in this arc with Vegeta, getting his ass whooped, Goku getting ready seemingly to come back and make a comeback. What we're reading right now, is this the end of the Granola arc, or is it like the end of the first part of a Granola arc?
Yeah, I think this is the first act.
Yeah, I think it's the same. We talked about that on your show a couple of weeks ago too. So I'll put a link in the show notes to hear more on that before the chapter came out. I think everything that happened in the chapter kind of lines up with what I said on that show that week. But this is like the beginning of the end of the first act of the story. In which case, that kind of gives us enough room to still have
Bring
Frieza
Frieza.
come in and
Mhm.
have him play an integral part to the story. So I think he's going to show up. I do not think that we're toward the end of this arc. I could be wrong. Goku could show up next month and fucking do a Dragon Fist through Granola's fucking both of his dumbass eyes, sniper eyes next month. But Rayshawn, we'll start with you, man. What do you think? Where the fuck Frieza at? And is he going to factor into the end of this?
I think he is going to factor into the end of this, and I think what's going to happen is he's probably going to have to team up with Goku again to probably take Granola down, or either the Heaters or something. They probably end up going either working together or something. But I don't think Granola is going to have the same hate he has for Frieza in the beginning of the chapter towards the end of the chapter. I think there's going to be something that's going to like that helps him understand the situation, so that he's able to actually go against the Heaters, the ones that's actually trying to brainwash him.
I could see the Heaters getting their shit blown up real early in the fucking plan and just being like, you guys are inconsequential. You're fucking around with the power of gods and Goku, Vegeta, and subsequently Granola due to this wish. And Frieza too as well. Like, we've seen that dude handle Hakai Shin energy, no fucking problem at all. So
You think Frieza might come back with an Ultra Instinct form? Because he low-key saw Goku's and all of them, and you got to think he's gonna at least try to get to that power level the next time he sees Goku.
Yeah, he's very well aware of what Goku and Vegeta are working with these days, so he has something to aspire to. But if he came back with like, I know Ultra Instinct, I'd be fucking shocked. But
he'd be more inclined to come back with like a fusion, wouldn't he? Because that was the last time he got his ass kicked.
who's he gonna fuse with?
His brother, that's not yet canon.
Yeah, I don't think he's canon still. Although I could have sworn they fucking mentioned him in one of the movies real quick, but I could be wrong.
No.
Reese, what do you think, man? Do you think Frieza's going to show up? If you do, what do you think he's going to do?
No, I think he's just still going to come in right at the end. Like once the whole conclusion happens, Frieza will come in at the end. Fucking Elect will still be alive because Goku will spare him, and he'll be like running off somewhere with his tail between his legs. Frieza's found out about everything, and he'll just go kill Elect himself and go, "Oh yeah, trying to like fuck with my shit, were you? Oh, I see how it is. I have no more use for you."
That would be lit.
And bang, and then Frieza comes back in probably the arc after fucking superhero or something.
I just want Frieza to show up and kill people. Like, I want Frieza to show. Like, I was thinking about episode, I think it's 94 of Dragon Ball Super the other day, where Goku goes to recruit Frieza from hell, and then those assassins from Universe 4 show up at Baba's palace to like try to kill them before they can bring him back to life. And Goku like lets Frieza off the leash per se, and he just throws out all those fucking laser beams and kills everybody. And the looks of joy on his face, one of the greatest Frieza moments of all fucking time. And I would love to see something similar to that in this arc, where he's just like, the Heaters, huh? What a bunch of fucking bubs! You're gonna overthrow me? You're gonna take my spot in the galaxy? Here's a bunch of quickly thrown laser beams that I don't even think twice about, and y'all are dead. I would fucking love that.
He'd want a toy. He'd want a toy with Elec though. He'd want a toy with Elec and torture him a bit first because that's his thing. He loves it.
No, I think he'd kill him quickly just to be like, that's how fucking little shit you are.
I think he would just blow up the planet.
He could do that too. He's like Shugarians.
Do you reckon that we're going to get Ultra Instinct Ego Vegito or fucking Gogeta?
I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible.
Ultra Instinct and Ego, that'd be like the most divine fighter there will be.
I imagine it would be a Gogeta, but I would be very surprised if they went back to the well on Gogeta so soon after Broly. GB, what do you think, dude? Do you think Frieza's going to show up in this arc, or do you think he's going to fucking remain out in space amassing his space cash or whatever.
In all honesty, I think this arc is going to have 3 parts. Like most of each arc, I feel like there has been about 3 parts. Like for example, for the Resurrection F slash Frieza arc, or Resurrection of Frieza, it was basically, oh, Frieza's came back and he's trained. Now he's come to Earth. Oh, look, everyone's waiting for Goku and Vegeta to arrive. Let's literally almost kill everyone. And
True.
then Goku and Vegeta come, they find their shit, and then they save the day. That's how, like, I feel like that's how it's been for each like arc in general for Super. For this one, I like everyone else said, I agree. We are in like part 1 of the arc. And I think this wish is going to segue us into part 2. A very interesting thing that I just thought about.
Sure.
So for just a side to answer your question first and then go into what my side thing is, because it kind of goes into the what we think is going to happen next chapter. For Frieza, I think he's definitely still conquering planets and all that, doing whatever he wants and pleases and just having a great time. But what I think is going to happen with this whole wish from the Hidas is they're going to wish to go back in time. And Granola is going to be
forward in time.
No, I think it's going to go back in time, because if they go back in time, think about it. They get rid of Frieza before he got his full golden Frieza form. And they know how to take him out, and they know how to take out the Saiyans and keep the Ceruleans and make it sure that like the Ceruleans are paid, or that the Ceruleans pay the Heaters. Think about it. They got infinite money and they ruled the whole galaxy at that point.
Oh my God. So I think I just figured out what we're going to do now. So like you're GB now, right? And I respect the choice and I'm definitely committed to it. But whenever you come out with some wild shit like that you just came out with just now, that makes little to no sense to me. I'm going to be like, wow, I was a fucking Leonard take just now. He's like, thought a lot about this time travel theory. Yo, the idea that we had 2 separate time travel Dragon Ball theories today that had nothing to do with the time machine. That's the word. How have we never seen time travel with the fucking Dragon Balls? Like
because
I think it's rich plot point.
Only the gods have the power to do that.
I don't know how Dragon Ball works. Do you guys like Dragon Ball? I don't know what it is really.
I think Dragon Ball is a story about a guy who keeps winning and another guy who just will always lose and will never have any repeats of that ever again. But just one time, just one time he'll get a win. But then 99.9% of the times, it's just going to be losses and pain and depression and Black Air Force energy.
Spoken like a true Vegeta fan, dude.
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, hey, we had another hope, but then that one got nerfed severely.
Bro, that's been the memes for the last couple of weeks. It's like Toriyama loves to torture us.
The thing about Vegeta never like win and fight. I mean, he be killing people and shit. He don't ever win like any of the big fights. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but I mean, like the minions and shit, he be killing them. Like.
I saw that motherfucker chop Goldo's head straight off of his body. It was sick as hell.
I mean,
everyone forgets about that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That was definitely cool. That was like straight up raw Vegeta. That was like everything that a Vegeta fan would want. But the only thing is just like Ray Sean said, it's just like he gets the little wins, and it's like you go and you're like, hey, I want to be a part of this tournament. And you train, right? Like you train to be, let's just say it's just like a race. You train, you get your workouts in and everything. You're ready to run. You're like, I'm going to get first place. And then this other dude who's just like, yeah, I just trained for a day and then freaking beats you.
Surprise, I'm here. I'm at the winner's
circle. It's like
circle.
You got second place. Nah, fuck that. I don't want second place. I want first place.
Yeah, it can be a little frustrating.
I don't understand what the point is of like developing Vegeta's character so much if you're just going to shit on him.
So that
Like,
way
he
you don't
has
have
so
to.
much
So that way
character
you don't have
growth.
to develop Goku. You can just be like, see all that fucking growth Vegeta had, and then Goku just fucking met it automatically. That's how much Goku
No,
grew.
but I mean, as a character, you know what I mean? Like, Vegeta's character has changed so much since fucking the first time he's come in.
So I got a question. It doesn't matter if he get a big win or if it matter if he kills Frieza.
Yeah,
I've heard
Frieza,
the
just let him kill
contradiction.
Frieza.
So y'all rather him just kill Frieza?
If he kills Frieza in this arc, it means nothing to me.
You think so?
It'd be funny to me because I'd be like, yo, that's how powerful Vegeta is. He's just like, fuck off, Frieza, you're a fly. That's funny. But the idea of Vegeta getting his like emotional revenge, that sailed with fucking Revival of F. They squandered the perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid. But I think the only time Vegeta's had the win that Goku hasn't is against fucking Android 19.
Yeah, he ripped
Fat
off his
boy.
arms, and he was like the first android of 5 that had to go because Toriyama's editor was like, an old man and a fucking pale skinned fat Chinese dude. Like, what the
King
hell
Kong
kind of scary ass
motherfucker.
monsters are these? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
That's funny.
Fuck. All right, so that's our chapter 75 discussion. God of Destruction Power. I think most of us think Frieza's going to show up at a certain point, but to be foreseen. I think these heater guys are going to be shown to be sort of phony balonies. You know what I'm saying? I said that. I said phony balonies. But I want to thank everybody for listening to this fun impromptu conversation tonight. We typically release these on Thursday, so what I think I'm going to do is maybe have this up on Patreon for anybody who cares enough to hear this analysis up for free, and then they can like, you know, just think about it. You want to sign up for the $5 Patreon? You should, you know, be cool. Support us. It's helpful. I'm an independent musician, podcast producer type, you know, fucking help out. Cool for school.
You heard about OnlyFans? Can't make money that way no more.
Bro, here's the thing. All right. I actually, me and Mike and Orm got into a whole thing about this today. I was hanging out with Mike and Amber at their house. It's like all of the banks were like, yeah, no, we're not cool with it all of a sudden. Like, we're not cool with paying money. Like federally chartered, internationally fucking chartered banks, whatever. Oh, that's a porno site? Yeah. We don't want to pay out that porno money anymore, man. Man, these hot ass waitresses from a fucking year and a half ago sure are making a killing fucking themselves on the internet. We can't let that happen anymore because we need them to go back to work to fucking bartend and wait tables and shit. Like, it's such a fucking obvious play to like take a big and like, I'm pro sex work, like fucking make your fucking money, ladies, do what you have to do. More power to you. I could never do what you do. I'm not attractive or fucking dedicated enough to do that sort of thing, but it's not an easy fucking job. And you have a million people like being creeps to you all the time. It's just basically a way for the fucking government to say like, yeah, we know you got nice titties and people are willing to pay to see them, but we really need you back behind the bar and to run this fucking salad out to table 5. And it makes me
Because
so
they can't
goddamn
tax them.
mad.
They can't tax them
No,
for the
fuck
income.
you. No. OnlyFans takes taxes out. I don't give a fuck. Dude, I have to pay taxes on getting invoices paid through fucking PayPal. Services like
What about
OnlyFans.
Patreon?
I pay taxes on fucking Patreon for the whatever, the $60 a month we make on Patreon. Like, yeah, I pay taxes and a fee to Patreon on it. Like, believe you me, you do not make money on OnlyFans without paying fees to OnlyFans, your fucking income taxes, all that shit.
I know, like OnlyFans, when you try to buy someone's subscription, they add on a tax. I'm not saying that from personal experience, but that's what I heard.
I just learned a lot
But
about you.
Wouldn't they just change from OnlyFans to Patreon?
That's what I'm thinking. They're gonna just probably switch to a different site because
I'm-
there's other OnlyFans type sites. I think it's like
100%.
four per.
Somebody
for
will come
fans.
up and fucking snatch that space up. But I'm pretty sure Patreon has a rule against pornography. Like you could be like a cosplayer and like show your titties and shit, but like you can't fucking fuck yourself with a dildo or whatever. So
You could
I
say
just-
it's expressive art.
My mind is like, what does OnlyFans think they're gonna do now? Like, what's their website gonna be? Nobody's gonna want to go there to watch somebody cook a bagel? Like
They
what?
they already made their money. They're fine with fucking. They're gonna go out of business by like fucking October, probably.
Why should I make a
November.
bagel? Talk about Dragon Ball Z content and how I love it and hate it at the same time.
Are you trying to say that I need to make an OnlyFans, GB?
Yes, making
Oh,
OnlyFans.
no. See, I was
Do it.
about to cut out all this OnlyFans talk that we just fucking threw in at the end, but I guess we have to keep it in now for sake of continuity.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, great job, baby. Great job. Reese, I appreciate you joining us, dude. Patreon members, they get the invite to come do some of these conversations with us. I forget who, I think it was Jacob last month, Reese this month, Marcus the month before. Not sure who's up next month. It might be Tyson. But if you want to jump in on one of these conversations with us, go join that $5 tier at patreon.com/Dragon Ball Super Dope. And Reese, I love you, brother. Thank you for that great voicemail on the 4-year anniversary the other day. It was awesome.
All good, man.
How do you feel about knowing that Carlton wants to fuck your voice?
I wouldn't be the first bloke. You're probably not going to be the last.
You wouldn't be the first bloke to fuck your voice? Is that what you just said?
No, I don't want to fuck my voice.
Yo, that's some
Ooh.
OnlyFans type stuff.
Yo,
That's
Reese,
hot.
make it ASMR OnlyFans, bro. You could get away with it because you're not showing
That's
your dong or
hilarious.
anything.
I think that'll be popular in the gay community then, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, Carlton will show it to all of his furry boys. Yeah, it'd be great.
You can make your OnlyFans as well, Carl. Just wear Carlton's fucking fairy costume, or at least the head of it. And you don't need to worry about people seeing
Dude,
you.
it's hot in
Just
there,
simply
dude.
wear his farmer suit.
Yeah, I'll get my fucking farmer overalls and my farmer with a shotgun hat, and I'll park my throat out back. All right, Reese, we appreciate you, man. Rayshawn from the RGAP podcast, dude. It was awesome to have you on. Great job in your first super dope appearance officially. Where can people check out your stuff, dude?
They can check me out on RGAP, RGAP2 on Instagram. Just search in RGAP on Google and you'll find my podcast. We finally are the only thing you really see on art when you type in RGAP in Google. So,
RGAP, the number
Mhm.
2, and that stands for the Rayshawn Gadsden Anime Podcast.
Yep.
I've done 2 episodes, so go check those out. Links in the show notes. We had a blast talking about some manga chapters, and if you go back in time like a month, you'll see that I predicted pretty much everything that's happening right now in the current Dragon Ball manga. So you're welcome.
You're vindicated.
And then the artist formerly known as Leonard, GB, thank you so much for taking the time, my friend. Where can people check out your stuff?
Well, of course, I am always on Twitch, twitch.tv/GB edits, and that's E. And instead of the E, it's a 3. And also, I'm on different other podcasts. I'm on the Non-Player Character podcast. I was on the NPC Adventure, but I think since I've been taking a hiatus just to take care of my own mental health, I'm probably not really on there anymore. But you should
NPC
definitely go
Adventure
check
is
it
like
out.
a D&D sort of thing you guys do?
Exactly.
Cool.
And we also have a bunch of other shows, but you can just go to silvertongueaudio.org and check it out. Paul, our main guy, he put a lot of effort into it, and it's really good. And the fact that, like, if basically it's just like what Kyle goes through, he edits, he does all the stuff for this. So, of course, hearing that, like, someone really listens to it and loves it, love to see it, and definitely do the same thing, of course, for this podcast. And hey, Kyle, don't you have another podcast that you do?
I do. Yeah. I make all sorts of podcasts. Like, people kind of underestimate how many podcasts I work on in a week, but I on average, it's 4. So, Dragon Ball Super Dope, that's my baby. And this is the thing that you're listening to. I also make a podcast about, what the fuck is it called? My Hero Academia. That's called Super Dope Plus Ultra. And then I produce one for like a financial optometrist, fucking advice person. I don't know. He's in Indiana. He's a great guy. Makes a lot of money.
Demon Slayer Super Dope coming soon.
I'm never going to make Demon Slayer Super Dope. Yo, I mean, if you listen to the anniversary episode, Carlton's giving me grief about, like, why don't you watch this and that? And I'm just like, because I don't give a fuck and I don't have the time and I can't talk about those things that I never watched knowledgeably, as opposed to Dragon Ball that I've been watching that for like 30 years. So if I make a podcast about Dragon Ball, I can actually deliver like knowledge and insight to people. If I'm just watching Black Clover or Demon Slayer for the first time and talking about it in front of a microphone, it's like, what do you, who are you? Why should I listen to you? What's the value here? fucking zero, Carlton. Listen to this shit, Carlton, you fucking dickhead. He won't. He doesn't listen to the show. Anyway, yeah, lots of podcasts. Every Thursday, we have these new Dragon Ball Super Dope episodes. Make sure you rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. If you are an Apple Podcast listener, the best thing in the world that you can do for me, if like you feel like we've bonded over the last hour or whatever, and you really want to be my friend, guess what? I want to be your friend too, but I can't be your friend unless you let me know how you feel about our friendship in the Apple Podcast review section. So go leave a 5-star review, write something nice. I'll read it on the show. We'll talk about it, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, check out my fucking friends, Rayshawn at the RGAP podcast, Reese on this podcast. I'm sorry you're delegated to just this show. And then GB on the NPC pod. Yo, dude, get me back on the NPC pod, man. I want to, you're on my show once a month. I've been on your show like one time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I know, like I said, everyone wants to have you back on there. And I think also since we have some new people, we actually have a new person with us as well. I think it would just be great chemistry, not chemistry, in general.
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds fun.
I'm so much fun. I just talk so much shit and just keep drinking, you know? If I don't have to be responsible for running the show and like recording things, I'm way funner.
Yeah.
Just ask Rayshawn, dude. He can tell you all about it. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Dragon Ball Super Dope. Thank you for checking it out. Make sure you rate, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Ultra Eagle. I loved all that shit. Nailed it. First time. No actual repeats needed.